Nobody clapped when you got back up. There was no crowd, no applause, no one filming the moment you stopped drowning and started swimming again. You rebuilt yourself in a room nobody walked into, while everyone around you was still busy remembering who you used to be. You were already becoming someone they'd never met. And that's exactly why what you built is going to last. Because the version of you that gets applauded is the version people think they own a piece of. The version of you that gets built in silence. That one belongs to no one but you. Stick with me. By the end of this, you'll understand why the loneliest chapter of your life might have been the most important one you'll ever write. There was a version of you that trusted easily, that believed if you worked hard enough, loved hard enough, stayed loyal enough, it would be returned. That believed the people standing next to you in the good years would still be standing there in the hard ones. You weren't naive. You were just young in a way that had nothing to do with age. Young in the belief that effort guarantees loyalty, that good intentions protect you from betrayal, that the people who say, "I'll always be here," mean it the way you mean it. Then it broke. Maybe not in one moment. Maybe it wasn't a single explosion you could point to and say, "There, that's when it happened." Maybe it was slower than that. Quieter. A phone that used to ring less. Plans that used to include you and then didn't. A room that used to feel full and then didn't. You noticed before you admitted it. That's usually how it goes. You feel the temperature drop long before you're willing to call it what it is. You make excuses for people who stopped showing up. You tell yourself they're busy. You tell yourself it's a phase. You tell yourself you're being too sensitive, too dramatic, too much. Because admitting the truth means admitting you're now standing somewhere you never expected to stand. Alone. Not dramatically alone. Not the kind of alone that makes for a good story. Just alone in the ordinary, unremarkable way that nobody writes songs about. Alone on a Tuesday. Alone at 2 a.m. when your mind won't stop. Alone in a version of your life that used to have more people in it. And here's the part nobody prepares you for. Nobody was there to watch this part. The falling apart doesn't happen on a stage. It happens in your car in a parking lot. It happens in the shower, where the water covers the sound. It happens in your head, at your desk, while everyone around you assumes you're fine because you answered, "I'm good," the way you always do. You carried it, alone. And you kept functioning because that's what you'd always done. Here's something we're taught without ever being told directly. We're taught that transformation needs an audience to be real. We're taught to wait for the moment someone notices. The comment, the compliment, the "wow, you've changed." As if the change doesn't count until it's been observed. As if your growth needs a witness to be verified, like evidence in a trial. So we wait. We quietly hope someone sees the weight we've lost, the discipline we've built, the version of ourselves we've fought to become. And when nobody does, some part of us wonders if it even happened. This is a trap, and it's worth naming clearly because it will keep you small if you let it. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years before we had language like seeking validation. Epictetus, a man born into slavery who became one of the most influential philosophers in history, taught something simple and brutal. Your worth is not determined by what others perceive. It's determined by what you do when no one is watching. He called it the inner citadel, a fortress inside you that no outside opinion can breach if you build it correctly. Not a fortress made of other people's applause, a fortress made of your own discipline, your own standards, your own quiet, private integrity. Marcus Aurelius, arguably the most powerful man alive during his time, an emperor who ruled most of the known world, wrote his private journal not for an audience, not for publication, not for anyone to ever read. He wrote it for himself, to hold himself accountable in the dark, where no one was checking his work. That journal became Meditations, one of the most read philosophical works in human history. He wasn't performing for anyone. He was disciplining himself in private, and the strength he built there is the reason his words still outlast empires. This is the part that changes everything if you let it sink in. The rebuild that happens with no witness is the only rebuild that's actually yours. Because if you only become disciplined when someone's watching, you haven't built discipline, you've built a performance. If you only keep your promises when someone will notice if you break them, you haven't built integrity, you've built a reputation. But the nights you sat with the pain instead of numbing it and nobody knew, that was real. The mornings you got up anyway, with nothing waiting for you but the decision to keep going, that was real. The version of you that formed in that silence, that's the only version that can't be taken from you. Because no one gave it to you. No one can revoke it. Let's talk about what actually happens in that room nobody walks into. Because something is built there, and it's worth naming exactly what. The first thing you build is the ability to keep a promise to yourself with no witness. Think about how easy it is to keep a promise to someone else. There's accountability. There's a person who will ask, "Did you do it?" There's the fear of their disappointment. But a promise to yourself, the decision to wake up early, to stop the habit that's been quietly destroying you, to finally face the thing you've been avoiding, that promise has no enforcer except you. Most people break those promises constantly, not because they're weak, because nothing external is holding them accountable, and they were never taught that they are enough of a reason on their own. You learned otherwise, in that room, alone. The second thing you build is comfort with silence. Most people are terrified of silence. They fill every quiet moment with noise, a phone, a show, a distraction, anything to avoid sitting alone with their own thoughts. Because silence forces you to hear what you've been drowning out. You didn't get that choice. The silence found you whether you wanted it or not. And somewhere in there, something shifted. The silence stopped being the enemy. It became the place where you finally heard yourself think clearly for the first time in years. The third thing you build is the ability to see your own patterns without anyone holding up a mirror. When people are around you constantly, they reflect you back, sometimes accurately, often not. Their opinions of you become tangled up with your opinion of yourself. But alone, with no one's voice but your own, you start to see clearly. You notice the thought loops. You notice what actually triggers you, what actually heals you, what actually matters to you versus what you only thought mattered because everyone around you said it did. This is not a small thing. Most people go their entire lives without ever seeing themselves this clearly. It usually takes losing everyone else's voice for your own to finally become audible. None of this shows up on a highlight reel. None of it gets a comment or a like or a "proud of you." It happens in silence, and it stays in silence, until one day you realize you're simply different, steadier, harder to shake, harder to manipulate, harder to break. And you don't know exactly when it happened, you just know that it did. Here's what happens next, and it's important you're ready for it. The people who disappeared during your fall, some of them will come back. They'll notice you're different, steadier, less reactive. less available to be pulled into chaos you no longer have room for. And some of them, the ones who couldn't be bothered to check on you in the parking lot at 2 a.m., will suddenly find you interesting again. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. They mistake this attention for redemption. They think the return of these people validates the suffering. Finally, someone noticed. But you don't need them to notice anymore. That's the entire point of what you built. You didn't rebuild yourself so that the people who left would come back and approve. You rebuilt yourself because the alternative was staying broken, and you refused. The strength you built with no witness doesn't need a witness now. It already knows what it's worth. It was tested in the one place strength can't fake it. Total privacy, total silence, total absence of applause. And it held anyway. That's not a small accomplishment. That's the entire accomplishment. So if you're in that room right now, the one nobody's walking into, the one where you're rebuilding piece by piece with no one checking your progress, understand what's actually happening. You are not falling behind because no one's watching. You are becoming unbreakable because no one's watching. They didn't see you fall. They won't see you rise either. They'll just see what's standing when it's finished. And by then, it won't matter that they missed it. Because you didn't build this for them. You built it for the version of you that has to live in this body, with this mind, for the rest of your life. And that version of you? He's finally someone you can trust. If this reached you, you already know why. Subscribe. There's more where this came from.